Hey, what is up, guys? This is Josh the Gamer here, coming at you with a brand new video. So today in this tutorial we are going to be covering force within the Quorum physics system. Now, what is force? Well, pretty much what force is, you can think of force as something like gravity, where it's like a push or a pull. That's pretty much what a force is. For example, gravity. Gravity is a type of force that pulls you either up, pulls you down, pulls you towards the left, or pulls you towards the right, or even pulls you diagonally if you really wanted to. Now, forces, they can be made to push any responsive object pretty much in any direction with varying degrees of not only strength, with different degrees of strength. This can be done by setting a vector 2 to the appropriate values. Now, let's go ahead and actually start that. What we want to do is we want to make sure we have a vector 2 object created instantiated called force. I've already done that. So I have a vector 2 force here. And then I also have the mass set to a value of 10 kilograms. That's important. I've increased the gravity pull to -800. So those are the changes that I've made. I've also made this inherit the keyboard listener, because what we are going to do is we're going to apply force to the center of this object every time the spacebar is pressed. So what you want to do is we need to now set our vector for our force. So do a force : set 0 on the x, because we don't want anything on the x at the moment, and then we're going to go ahead and do a 250,000, because that is the value that I've noticed works the best with -800. Now we're gonna save that. What we need to do now is, inside of our if statement, testing for a key to be pressed, we're going to do a player : apply, and then you'll see an apply force and apply force to center. We're going to use the apply force to center because we want to apply this force to the center of our object. Whereas if you wanted to specifically apply the force to a very specific point on your drawable or item 2D or whatever, that's where you would use apply force. However, this does require two vector 2 objects, so just keep that in mind. So apply force to center, and then we're going to put our force in there. Save it, build it, and run it. Now when you press the spacebar, it applies some force to your object. It's really cool. And it works actually really well. Now for example, if you wanted to apply force on the x-axis, you can go ahead and change that. So let's go ahead and say we want to apply 20 force on the x, and the good old and then the normal force that we have there already on the y. So we're going to go ahead and save it, build it, run it. And now, as you can see, it's being kind of pushed towards the right a little bit, but not by a whole lot. So let's go ahead and say, we're going to say 3,000, just so we can get a good idea of what it's actually doing. Now it's kind of still not moving all that much. I think it has something to do with the mass. So we're gonna say 30,000. Now that should theoretically do something at least. Maybe not a whole lot, but it should do something. Yeah, there we go. See, as you can see now, it's starting to kind of be moved over a little bit. So yeah, that's pretty much how you use forces. Let's go ahead and recap the steps in order to apply force to an object. First, you're going to want to have another vector 2, and then optionally, you're going to want to make your main class a keyboard listener if you want to apply the force whenever you press a key. Make sure you instantiate that vector 2 object for your force. You're going to want to have the mass set, because without the mass set, it's not going to work. Make sure you set the values for your vector. In this case, I'm just going to keep it at 0 to 150,000, so it'll only do an upwards force application. Make sure that you add your optional keyboard listener. Then you're going to want to call the apply force to center in the place in which you want the force to be applied. So if you want the force to be applied at the beginning of the game, you're going to want to have that in your create game action. And then if you want it to be applied every frame, which I'm not sure why you'd want that, but it's there, you can put it in the update action. So anyways, guys, that pretty much does it for your tutorial on force. Hope you guys learned a little something, and we will see you all in the next one.